Today we're taking a look at the most emotionally charged episodes from Futurama, The Simpsons, South Park, and Family Guy, with the goal of exploring each series' most heartfelt moments. Emotions are a part of human nature. It's okay to feel uncontrollable rage when your favorite NFL team loses, spiral into existential dread after you say psst psst and your cat ignores you, and laugh at people who think there's a better cookie flavor than oatmeal raisin. It's time people stop sleeping on oatmeal raisin. Now, this is a threat. Now, there's no definitive measurement of emotion in these episodes, so I picked a few episodes that I knew were cinematic tragedies. I'm a pretty emotionless guy. But fair warning, today's episodes will tug on your heartstrings. Get your tissues ready for their intended purposes. Not that they serve any other uses. And let's not waste any more time and let's get right into the video. If you enjoy this type of content, be sure to subscribe.
Hooray!
Subscribing is the best way to support me and boost my dopamine levels to send my brain happy signals. If you have any suggestions for future rankings, feel free to drop those in the comments below. If you ever want to jump into the conversation, share your hot takes, or just see what we're up to at 2 a.m., our Discord link is below. Following the advice of some comments on the last video, I now have a fully functional Patreon. Huge shout out to our channel members and Patreons for their continued support. I have a 10-week-old newborn, and who knew diapers and formula were so expensive? And legally, I can't just feed her chicken nuggets. Boy, we're really going all in to start here. When you think of gut punch episodes, if Jurassic Bark isn't the first thing that comes to mind, then you've probably never seen this episode. This episode is enough to make a grown man cry. Kinda like when I think back and realize all the Pokemon I've ever caught are just sitting in the PC waiting for me to come back. Or my Minecraft wolf, waiting for his master to return, only for me to never log on again. Or my Tamagotchi. Wait, no, he's long gone. Yeah, there isn't any coming back from that one. We're kicking things off with Futurama's Season 5 episode, Jurassic Bark. A minute 30 into this episode, and we've already crossed off seeing animated butt cheeks in today's video. Nice. A replica of Panucci's, the pizza shop that Fry worked at in the past, has popped up at a local museum. When Fry notices a mummified version of his old dog, Fry feeds a pizza meant for a Mr. Seymour Asses to this stray dog, forming a lifelong bond. Fry tries to steal his mummy dog back in this great scene.
I'm taking him home, and I like to see anyone try and stop me. Uh-oh. Ow, ooh, ow, ooh, ah.
In the past, Seymour became the mascot of Panucci's Pizza and Fry's dog. Man, Panucci's seems more sanitary than my local Pizza Hut. Not sure who's keeping Pizza Hut in business, but they're out there, walking among us. This episode has a ton of funny moments. I can see why it's the best rated in the series.
Good news, everyone!
Hooray, he's back! And he's looking for a garbage can to put the rock in. Here you go, buddy.
Fry's excited that they can reclone Seymour, claiming he can finally have his best friend back, absolutely shattering Bender's heart. Bender is understandably jealous of Fry's newfound friendship with Seymour. The episode keeps cutting back to the past in 1999, where Seymour and Fry were both together. Seymour doesn't want Fry to go on his next delivery. Fry tells Seymour to wait for him, as he delivers pizza to a Mr. Icy Wiener. Hey, wait a minute, that's not a normal name. Of course, this is the tragic delivery where Fry was frozen and sent 1,000 years into the future. When Fry doesn't show up the next day, Seymour is noticeably distraught. Fry's family doesn't bother looking for him. What great parents. Wait, what in the fan service is going on in this scene? Bender gets a new Robo-Puppy, named Robo-Puppy, in an attempt to make Fry jealous. The Robo-Puppy bit is actually really funny.
Robo-Puppy commencing 2-hour yipping session.
The professor is finally ready to clone Seymour back to life. Bender, jealous of Seymour taking his best friend, throws Seymour into some lava before they're able to fully clone him. I mean, Fry was being a really crappy friend, but he is understandably excited to see the dog he's missed for the last 1,000 years. Seymour could have survived the volcano somehow, and Fry is willing to jump in the lava to save him. We then see a flashback of Seymour in 2000, looking everywhere for his best friend Fry. Bender apologizes to Fry and decides to dive in after Seymour. Fry's parents take Seymour away, not realizing Fry was in the cryogenic tube. Fry's parents must have a combined IQ of 6, which is shockingly above average for New Mexico. Come on, New Mexico, do better. Bender emerges from the lava with Seymour, and they find out Seymour died at the age of 15, prompting Fry to not clone him. Fry assumes Seymour lived a full life and forgot all about Fry, but the viewers see that Seymour waited every single day outside of Panucci's Pizza, waiting for the day he and Fry were reunited. Seymour waited for a long 12 years until he finally succumbed to old age. Man, this episode is an absolute tearjerker. Seymour knowing what happened to Fry and waiting for him, missing him every day for the rest of his life might be the saddest thing I've ever seen. As a pet owner myself, this has me crying in the club. My pets probably feel this sorrow every morning when I leave for work. We also have the added story of Bender feeling replaced by his best friend, but the Seymour plotline makes that one pale in comparison. What a way to start our list today, absolute gut punch. The next episode is an entirely different feeling of emotions than the last. As I've mentioned many times before, I became a father recently, for the first time to a perfect baby girl. I'm also really new to The Simpsons. I've been trying to watch some of the early greats, and this one episode struck me in particular. It was the perfect storm of relatability in my own life and a golden era Simpsons episode. This one might not get you in the feels quite like the last, but this one hit me hard personally. We jump into The Simpsons Season 6 episode, and Maggie makes 3. Marge declares that it's family night, and they have to stop watching a show about a crime-fighting boat. The family decides to look at some exciting baby pictures, but they notice there aren't any pictures of Maggie in the scrapbook, leading to a backstory from Homer. Homer's finally out of debt with all his bills paid off. He can finally quit his job at the power plant. Homer makes sure to not burn any bridges on the way out.
Ooh, lovely desk. It would be too bad if someone, I don't know, didn't use a coaster!
Well, until he literally burns the bridge leading into the factory on his way out. Homer can finally get his dream job at the bowling alley. Homer's official title is a pin monkey, according to his family. Sounds a lot like Cotton Hill calling Hank a pump jockey. Man, people in the past really have lowered expectations for a dream job. But hey, they say do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. I mean, it also helps you could buy a house for a nickel and a used napkin back in those days. Homer's finally happy working at the bowling alley. I love when he polishes his head in the ball shiner.
Homer, did you polish your head in a shino ballo?
No.
Okay then.
Marge finds out that she's pregnant, and she's nervous to tell Homer. Homer's life is going perfect, and he's truly happy with his life for the first time, and the news of a new baby would ruin that. Everyone congratulating Homer while he is oblivious is a great bit.
Hey, Homer! Way to get Marge pregnant!
This is getting very abstract, but thank you! I do enjoy working at the bowling alley.
Homer's brain cells finally connect the dots, and he freaks out. The natural transition into a commercial break here is fantastic as well.
Hey, where are you going?
Dad, you can't expect a person to sit for 30 minutes straight.
I'm gonna get a snack and maybe go to the bathroom.
I'll stay here, but I'm gonna think about products I might like to purchase.
Homer is distraught that he won't be able to afford to support 3 kids on his bowling alley salary. Homer has to quit his dream job, ending the happiest time of his life. He would have to return to his old job at the power plant with his tail tucked between his legs. Homer returning back to the power plant with more shame than LeBron coming crawling back to the Cavaliers. I guess the anime version of this joke is like Usopp coming crawling back to the Straw Hat Pirates in Water 7. See, we cater to a wide variety of audience here at Bucko Corp. Homer might as well be sent to Alcatraz with how much the power plant is like a prison. It's a great joke, as well as a metaphor for how Homer feels trapped, working at a soul-sucking job just to support his family. The crawling back on your hands and knees entrance is great. Homer gets his job back, and they give him a plaque to help break his spirit further. Maggie is born, and Homer instantly snaps out of his depression. So where are those pictures of Maggie, you might ask? In a place where Homer needs them the most. I'm not crying, you're crying. This episode really hit home for me, in the emotional side of things. Homer shows the extents that which one man will go for his family, giving up on his dreams, sacrificing his passions to ensure that they will live good lives. This episode is nothing short of amazing. Definitely in my top 3 Simpsons episodes of all time. An episode you can reflect on like this is always an instant classic. The ending is super heartwarming. I would say that I teared up the first time I saw the end of this episode, but I got a tough guy persona to live up to. So instead, I'm going to eat this bowl of nails with no milk. I couldn't remember an episode of South Park that was super heavy on the emotions. That is, until I remembered the episode where Kenny literally ceases to exist. In a random Season 5 episode of South Park, Kenny gets Thanos snapped harder than Spider-Man did. I was between this episode and the 2-parter where Stan thinks everything looks and sounds like crap. Both episodes had some strong themes, but in the end I went with this one. Hopefully you're ready to relive some more trauma. You know what? Let's actually take a break from the sadness, and let's inject some forced happiness and positive serotonin. We jump into the season 5 episode, Kenny Dies. It's strange because Kenny normally dies, like a lot, like every episode actually. Kenny dying is as normal as Moist Critical wearing a white shirt and talking about buttholes in every video. Kyle, Stan, and Kenny are burning cow poop, which seems like something people in Wyoming would do because there still isn't internet there. Wyoming is going to be really upset in 20 years when they hear this jab. Cartman calls them over to say he has stumbled upon a small fortune of stem cells. Cartman plans to sell them while Kenny is sporting an ominously foreshadowing cough. Cartman ends up trying to sell the stem cells back to the factory whose truck he found them off of, but just as he's about to make the sale, the government bans them. Hey, Miss Chokes on Wee Wee's in this season. Talk about iconic character designs, am I right or am I right? Stan and Kyle get sent to the principal's office, where they learn Kenny has a terminal disease. Their parents explaining what a terminal disease is to their 4th grade children is actually heartbreaking. This might be the episode where the "you're breaking my balls" catchphrase came to be.
These are killer shrimp, Gary. Your customers are gonna love them. What kind of price you paying for shrimp? Oh, Gary, you're breaking my balls, Gary. How about 10 1/4? Balls, Gary. Breaking them.
I remember saying this phrase a lot as a kid. I was probably way too young to be repeating this, but I think I turned out okay. Right? Right, guys on the internet? The boys coming into the hospital to see Kenny is so depressing. The kids are so naive in the severity of the situation. Stan can't stand to see Kenny like this, and he runs out of the room. Stan is being a bit selfish, but this is an impossible situation for a 4th grader to be in, even if they've been in 4th grade for almost 30 years. Cartman's gonna try to get stem cell research unbanned to help save Kenny. Kenny just wants to see Stan, but Stan can't muster up the strength to go visit his friend. Cartman speaks in front of the government to try to get stem cells unbanned. He breaks into song singing Asia's Heat of the Moment. This will surely be stuck in my head for the next week. I would like to apologize in advance to my wife and cats for me singing this song all week. Cartman's performance worked, and stem cells are unbanned. Cartman then goes to Unplanned Parenthood to buy some fresh supply. Man, this is twisted. Stan finally comes to visit Kenny, but he was too late. Kenny's gone. For realsies this time. And Stan never got to say goodbye. At least Cartman got to use the stem cells to duplicate a Shakey's pizza. Stan takes some solace from this, knowing that Cartman was Kenny's worst friend in the end. Man, this episode is absolutely heartbreaking. Showing the devastation of Kyle and Stan having to watch their best friend wither away, and Stan not having the strength to face this very real scenario, and when he finally does have the courage, he was too late. For a character who dies every episode, this death was absolutely brutal. You feel for Kyle and Stan the entire episode. The usual jabs and bits aren't there as they tackle this tough theme. I'm not ranking these episodes, but I think this episode is the saddest of the day. A very well done episode. Man, why am I making this video? It's tearing me apart. When searching for an emotionally charged episode of Family Guy, I was struggling a bit. I could not think of any time that Family Guy delivered a story that really made me feel something. Sure, there are heartwarming moments, but nothing truly stood out. The consensus online was that the episode Brian Wallows and Peter Swallows was one of the most emotional. I don't really remember this episode, but Reddit has surely never been wrong before. Right? We're going way back to season 3 of Family Guy in the early 2000s. Are people in the near future going to call these years from 2000 to 2029 the 20s? Because that just feels wrong on so many levels. It's hard to believe that some people are younger than Fortnite and TikTok, and that really makes me feel like an elderly man. Brian is struggling to find the right woman, per usual. Remember when Lois taught piano lessons in the early seasons? In the B storyline, Peter decides to grow a beard. Brian is feeling down that he can't find the right girl for him. So Peter and the gang take him to the Laser Rock Show to cheer him up. This doesn't help at all, as Brian sees all the happy couples around them at the show. Brian gets arrested for drinking and driving. Luckily, Peter is sober enough to drive.
And one of you guys all right to drive?
Yeah, I can do it.
Great, I'll meet you at the Drunken Clam, we'll tie one on.
Brian is found guilty and sentenced to 100 hours of community service. He'll be taking care of the elderly to serve his time. Brian meets his assigned old lady Pearl, and she seems like just a treat. Meanwhile, Peter's beard is in full bloom. An endangered species of bird decides to nest in Peter's beard. Legally, he has to allow the bird to stay. Peter would need an expert in bird law to get out of this one. Peter and the bird shenanigans are great in this episode.
Hey, shut up! Keep it down!
Look, there's nothing I can do, all right?
Peter is trying his hardest to get the bird to leave, but the bird laid eggs, furthering the shenanigans. Things change for Brian's community service that was going poorly when he learns that Pearl was a famous singer in the past. This leads Brian to have a newfound appreciation for Pearl. Brian loves her opera singing and finally breaks through Pearl's icy cold heart. In the Beast story, Peter teaches his baby birds animal sounds, and maybe I should take notes here.
And what does a cow say? Yes, that's right. A cow says beep, 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 beep.
Brian and Pearl are finally getting along. Brian wants to take her out for dinner, but she hasn't left the house in the last 30 years, just like your average World of Warcraft players. As soon as she steps out of the house, she is immediately hit by a truck. I just realized this now, but Pearl and Brian went out the same way. Pearl's on her deathbed and she just wants a little more time with Brian, so Brian pulls out some VR glasses, showing them what their life together would have been like. Peter lets his baby birds go free in another emotional goodbye. This was a good episode, with a sad conclusion. Brian finally connects with someone and then he loses it all. Peter grows attached to these baby birds, before letting them leave the nest to live their lives. This episode deals with some heavy themes, but compared to the others, it wasn't nearly as gut-punching. Still a good classic episode of Family Guy though. There we have it. 4 of the most tragic episodes to ever grace our TV screens. If there's a specific episode that broke your heart into a million pieces that I didn't cover today, feel free to yell at me in the comments about it. One particular episode that comes to mind for me is SpongeBob, the episode where Gary runs away. That one had me crying all night when it first premiered. The most emotional episode in my opinion was South Park's Kenny Dies, quickly followed by Jurassic Bark. The Family Guy episode takes the crown for the least tear-inducing episode of the day. I would highly recommend you check out all these episodes when you need to feel something. They're all great episodes with truly tragic themes and events. If you want to see more videos like this, drop any ideas or suggestions in the comments below. If you enjoy the content, please be sure to subscribe. Subscribing helps me out a ton. Lastly, if you want to join our growing community, a link to the Discord is in the description. Thanks for watching.